Welcome to the Guitar Log. Today we have a Fano Standard JM6 from 2017. This Jazzmaster style body with some Gibson-like appointments and fantastic P90 pickups plays and sounds like a dream. The relicing work is top notch. You'll really enjoy these guitars if you get a chance to check one out. If you like this video and all our other gear reviews, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you'll know when we have new videos up. Hey everybody, welcome to the Guitar Log. This is Brian, and today we have an awesome guitar for you, a Fano Standard JM6. Fano guitars were started back in the 2000s by Dennis Fano, and Dennis made some awesome guitars before selling the company to Premium Guitar Builders Guild, and they ended up selling the company because they had some issues. Financially, I guess, and then ended up selling out to Desert Sun Musical Instruments. And Desert Sun has been making them since, I think, 2016 or 17. I think it was somewhere in there that they sold the company. This one is a 2017 model, and on the back it says handcrafted in the USA, which means it is one of the Desert Sun's models. They used to say handcrafted in California at the area where they were built before. Desert Sun took them over and makes them in Scottsdale, Arizona now. Now they say hand assembled in the USA, I should say, and that's because there's probably some pieces in here that are made overseas, but they do all the final putting the guitar together, doing the work on the frets and the neck. That's all done in the USA. So that being said, this is a really nice guitar. The Fano flagship models were the Alt de Factos. The Alt de Factos are kind of more of a custom instrument, and you're looking anywhere from the $3 to $4 grand and up range on those guitars. This was a way that they could make guitars, and I think these were anywhere from, I guess depending on options, I've seen $19.99 as a starting point for these. I think the humbucker ones were maybe a little bit more, but $2,000 guitar is what you're looking at. They no longer make the standard. Now they make what's called the Ultra model, which is kind of the new version of the standard that they're making. So what's on it? Well, you got a couple of Fano P90 pickups. As far as those, I have no idea who makes them. I've heard rumors of who it might be. They used to use a lot of Lawler and Lindy Fralin pickups, but these are branded as Fanos, so I'm not sure where the parent company is getting those done now. But then you have this awesome bridge, which is a tune-o-matic, and if you like Les Pauls, you're going to feel comfortable with this. And if you like Fender style Jazzmasters, you're going to feel comfortable with this part. The P90s, again, like, hey, if you're a Les Paul guy, it's going to feel like one of those old 50s gold tops, right? So it's like an amalgamation of a lot of things that were great in old guitars. Another thing that you might like, it's a Fender style guitar, you could say, but up here we see that there's a nice angle to the headstock, so you get that little bit of a bend there that Gibson players are going to be very accustomed to as well. Guitar holds tune well, has Fano branded tuners. Fano Deluxes, I think, is what they put on there, and basically it's occlusion, is what it amounts to. And This guitar is really nice. It's built well. It's sturdy. That neck, there's no give in it. And I don't mean that like it's uncomfortable to play. I just mean that it's not shifting around in the pocket. And the pocket itself is great because you have a nice little scalloped area here so that you can reach those high notes really easily in those upper frets. The guitar, you can tell it's tightly put together because it resonates really well even unplugged. So that's one of the things I always love in a guitar is if it sounds good unplugged, now I'm just amplifying it and seeing how good it sounds. So I think it does. Now the other thing about this guitar, which I really love Relic guitars. This one's got relicing on the neck. It's got relicing on the body, which hopefully I'll have some photos up so you can see this a little bit better, or maybe at the beginning of the video you saw them. But there's a lot of checking work. There's little marks right here where your arm would have rubbed it. Here where your belly would have rubbed up against it with that contour. And then the neck's got some checking in it as well. And the checking, what I love about this is the checking is right. Some of it doesn't come through the finish. It's like underneath you can see. So that, the nitro lacquer finish on this guitar is also something that's going to make it feel like it's been played for 50 years and broken in really well. I love that. That's something that's a personal, thing for me that I like. I love relics if they're done well. Most relics are not. Most of the time someone just gets okay, I'll get a little box cutter out here, get the blade out, and just, run some lines in it. This almost looks like they put it out in the cold after having it in a hot room. I mean, it's the way it's supposed to be, and I really like that. The pickup covers as well as all the hardware here, it's aged as well. Your pickup selector it's not just a little piece of plastic at the end. I mean, it's like a solid piece of metal. It feels really solid in your hand. So really good craftsmanship on these guitars. Now, with that being said, I also love that this Olympic white finish looks great and it looks aged. It doesn't look like it's brand new, but I love that we got a matching headstock with also a two-tone to it, where you can see where it says Fano Standard JM6. So it's like a really nice jazz master body, but you don't have to worry about that wonky going out of tune bridge and tremolo. I mean, I think a Bigsby or something would have been cool on it, but at the same time, I like it just the way it is. So with all that said, the frets are really, some kind of a medium fret. Feel comfortable in your hands. The neck is a C, is what they call a 60C. And it does remind you of maybe some of your favorite Gibson guitars in that respect. That's what I would compare it to. There's Fenders like that too. But it's a compound radius, so it goes from 7 1/4 to 9 1/2, which is great because when you're playing up here, you got a little bit more room to play melodic lines. You don't kind of fat finger it, and it's easy to play up here. So I like that as well. But again, this is a really nice guitar, and let's listen to some sounds with it. I'm playing through a Dr. Z Prescription ES today, and I've got a JHS Kilt for some distortion sounds we'll hear in a moment, and I've got a little bit of reverb coming from an Astronomer by Matthews Effects. So let's start off with the neck pickup and just a little bit of strumming. And then when you go to the in-between, I love this for just, strumming. bridge pickup, you get those, you can get some twang out of it, you know. But you can also just get, you know, straight rhythm. One of the things I like too is with the tone knob, you can get some 2 and 4 strat sounds, you know, those out of phase spots, if you do that. So if I leave it wide open, it sounds a little bit more like the 4 spot on a strat. But if I roll the tone back a little bit, it sounds more like, you know, the second between the neck and the middle. You know, so great sounds there. Now you put a little bit of dirt on it, and this thing can really just kind of rip. You know, it's got a nice. It's not so trebly that it kills you like a single coil would in some cases, but it's like a single coil on steroid. That's the way I always have described a P90. If you like single coils, you like humbuckers, but you want something that splits the difference to get that articulation, but also have a little bit of drive with it, a little bit of hair. I think P90s are great, and these are a really good sounding set. So let's listen to the bridge. To the middle, you know, it's got a nice, you know, kind of spongy sound, you know. Is great for a nice articulate, you know, every note rings out, but it's not just muddy, you know, and I like that. So again, despite my bad playing, you can see it's a nice guitar, and you know, when I look at the pros and cons of this guitar, I think that's something I don't always do when I do these videos at the Guitar Log, but you know, we are nothing but the amp in the room with you through an iPhone camera. We don't do anything crazy, don't have some nice recording rig set up. No, this is just simple, hey, this is what it sounds like in the room. And here's what I'll say about this guitar. Pros, it sounds great. It feels great. In my opinion, it looks great. The Relicing, again, I've played a lot of production model guitars as well as custom shop guitars with Relicing. Most of them don't do it well. They put too much checking in, or they have too many dings, or it's not where you would naturally see it, you know. But this guitar really seems to get it right. It feels like it was a guitar that, you know, it definitely had its little edges knocked off and things like that, but it's also one that, you know, didn't have like these, you know, the over checking done. It's really tastefully done, and even on the neck, it feels like an old neck in that respect, and looks like it. So I really like that. So the relicing work to me is a huge plus. You know, stays in tune well. The pickups sound great. This is just a really well built guitar, and it feels solid in your hands, and I like that. Now, for cons, for anybody, and again, you know, the pros far outweigh the cons to me on this guitar, but for cons, if you're somebody that wants everything made in the USA and assembled in the USA and every part's from the USA, there's not a lot for you. You know, a lot of, you know, places are pulling stuff from other places. Companies are pulling stuff from other places. But this is a guitar that, you know, I don't know what specifically wasn't made in the USA. If somebody knows, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to know. But it doesn't matter. You know, you think about Gretsch, they're all made in Japan now, and they're fantastic guitars, a lot better than some of the older ones even. But, you know, this is one that's hand assembled in the USA. They do the work on the neck and the frets in the USA. Whatever components they're using, I promise you, you're not going to know where it was made. You're just going to pay attention to how great it sounds. So again, you know, if you're somebody like that, that may be a con to you. Another thing that may be a con to you, maybe you want a guitar that looks pristine and new. So the relicing would not be up your alley. You know, hey, that just is what it is. But I'll tell you, you know, I've played Nash guitars. I've got a really nice Whitfield Telecaster that's relicked. This is the best relicing job I've seen from a production instrument. And when I compare it to customs, it's pretty doggone amazing. So really nothing but good things to say on that end from me personally. The only other thing that I would bring up as a con, and I think this is a minor thing, when you buy a guitar that's $2 grand, you probably want a case instead of a gig bag. This is a nice Levy gig bag, and it's, you know, branded with Fano. And, you know, I don't want to spend too much time dogging them for that, because to me, you know, let's face it, there's a lot of guitar companies doing that now. Paul Reed Smith's Silver Sky should have come in a case. They put it in a gig bag. Fano is trying to cut a few bucks here and there to make these guitars a more affordable version of their top of the line. But here's the thing. If you talk about this being the second tier of their guitars, and the Ultra is now the standard was at that time, and they've got what they call the Omnis, which is like their overseas, completely overseas made guitars. If this is the second line, wow, it's a lot better than most first line guitars, you know what I mean? So really impressed with this and how it plays. I've played a few over the years, had a chance to pick this one up, and I'm glad I did. And this is just a really, you know, well-built instrument that's going to have a lot of tonal capability for you. Even though it's just two P90s, you can get a lot of mileage out of that. And again, you know, really recommend you try one out. As always, keep chasing tone, keep having fun playing the guitar, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Guitar Log.